Hi everyone. In this video we are going to configure network devices and groups within ISE. Network devices are the authenticating device that authenticates the client connecting to the network. So to get started, we're going to navigate over to Administration and Network Devices. Once we're here, as you can see, nothing is configured currently, so we're going to add a new device. So, for instance, we're going to add my lab MR33. So we'll call this lab MR33. And then we're going to add the AP, which is 10.10.0. And then let's look. I have my access point pulled up here in the dashboard. So I see the LAN IP is 10.10.0.102. Now, from a model name, we can just type in MR33. This can be used as an attribute within one of the rule sets for authorization, as well as authentication. We can also set a device type. I believe I do have Meraki MR pre-configured. However, if you were to create a group, we would do create new group. We would say all device types, and then we can start specifying the type of device. So for instance, I had previously configured Meraki MR, so we would type that in and click Save. So I'm going to go ahead and select Meraki MR. Then we can also select a location. I also pre-configured a location for HQ. However, let's say this is going to be a branch site. So let's go ahead and click Save. And then we're going to select branch. Now from here, there's a couple other things we can configure, but the main one we want to do is we want to make sure we configure the radius authentication settings. So we need to set a shared secret. And this is going to be the key that's used to authenticate to the access point, or in some other situations, a switch or firewall or other authenticating device to ISE itself. So we're going to use a very generic key. If you needed to see what you typed in, or later down the road you needed to check what that pre-shared key was, you can always click Show, and it will show you that key. As you can see, this is not a very secure key. I would highly recommend using something that's not in any sort of key databases of any sort. Once we're done with that, let's go ahead and click Submit. All right, so Lab MR33 has been created. It has been added to the Meraki MR group. Let's go ahead and add another device, and let's add my Office switch. So we'll call this Office MS220. And then we're going to go ahead and add that. So let's check out what that guy is. So let's go here. I'm going to navigate over to my switches. And my home office switch, let's add the IP field. So you can see it's 10.10.0.252. I guess I can just type that in instead of copying it. Model name, we'll just put MS220. And I pre-configured these groups already. Let's do Meraki MS, as well as let's drop this in at the branch as well. And we're going to do a radius authentication setting as well. So let's put in a generic key. And click Submit. One thing to keep in mind is that every device that connects to Cisco ISE needs to have its IP address added to this network devices list. Without it, ISE does not know what the device is or where it's coming from or any information about that device, and doesn't have a way of matching it. These actual groups that we've created here, that's annoying. These actual groups that we've created here are going to be utilized in our authorization rules to allow us to specify different types of rule sets depending on the device that's hitting the ISE server. This is especially handy when you have all of your rule sets condensed into maybe one pane, or if we're using policy sets and we have multiple policy sets, we can use a different policy set based on the device type, based on the network device group that it's in, or maybe the location that they're coming from. One thing to keep in mind as well is maybe if you don't have time, or you need to have a default device configuration added in here, we can go ahead and click Default Device. This actually will be a pre-shared key. We're going to put in our radius shared secret key here. What this says is that if there's no IP address configured, it's going to just use the default network device group, more or less. There's no group we can specify. In ACS, you used to be able to select the network device group out of a list. However, I'm not sure of a way to do that within ISE 2.1. So we'll go ahead and click Enable. We're going to enable radius, and then let's put in that key. One thing to keep in mind is this enable key wrap function that you've actually seen in a couple different places is the ability to perform AES encryption on the username and password, or actually the entire communication between the radius server and the network access device. This keeps all of that information encrypted so that if anyone was performing a packet capture, they can't see any of the radius attributes or any information that is being transmitted or received from ISE or to ISE. As of right now, there is no support for key wrap within Meraki. However, we are working on adding that feature and that functionality down the road here. So let's go ahead and click Save. Now that this is saved, we're going to go ahead and be able to use these rule sets in different authorization policies, which we will configure in the next couple videos that I have recorded. I hope this was informative for you, and I thank you for viewing.